Hello Wolfpack, we've had some progression on the Telcoin chart, and I thought I'd take a look at the chart, quick look into the TI. I'm not going to be looking into the FA too much, the fundamentals. If you want to know more about the fundamentals, make sure to check out my last video I did on Telcoin about 2 months ago. I went over the fundamentals in that video, but, we've got the chart here. We did our video on Telcoin, I want to say around mid-August, around this period here. I might be incorrect on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's the rough region we did it on. We labeled this area, this orange area here, or this yellow area here, this September area. We said we were probably going to be having a red September, and we have actually seen a red September, right? So that's pretty normal, right? This goes into cyclical theory, how every single time we see a bull market, we do see that red September, and we do see the bullish Q4, and it's no different for altcoins, right? We see that red September. We saw, running up, from around July until the start of September, and then September was just a slow decline, and we entered this kind of channel formation. We broke out to the upside of that channel. We can actually see that we probably, if we extend that, this is just a rough channel, we flipped that for support, and now we've moved up briefly as well. So we're looking pretty good in the short term, right? We've conquered that September region, so we can actually take away this box now. It's nothing to be concerned about anymore. The only reason I had it there is because on the unlikely occasion that in that September we would have headed down to a lower support box, that would have been a great buying area for Telcoin. I want to just fix this up quickly. I think we do have an extra support area around this region as well. So I want to just chuck that in there. But back to the video. What we have on Telcoin is two separate kind of scenarios, right? Two separate scenarios, two separate triangles that I want to be looking at, because I think the Telcoin will be making an exponential breakout when it does, right? What we saw on Telcoin, we'll go to coin market cap quickly. It was around for the last cycle, but it actually only came out literally just after, and I mean this quite literally, a few days after the market topped out. So when Telcoin came out, everything just started dropping, and so it didn't really see a bull market in 2018, right? And this is good and it's bad. It's good because it came out at the worst time possible, and it showed us that, hey, no matter how bad the timing is, we're still going to keep delivering throughout the bear markets, keep delivering our technology, keep developing the product. So it shows determination with team's end. It shows the lifespan of the project. We had days where we only had 25,000 USD in volume. So basically this project essentially was dead for the first 3 to 4 years of its lifespan. But they stuck around, they kept going, and they were rewarded with this massive blast off. And any of the holders who must have bought in at this point would have been very happy with that. But what I want to look at is the fact that obviously, you're not going to be buying a coin when it's blasted off all the way to the ceiling here, although people do, and people are very happy to do that, right? People are very happy to buy coins that are in the sky. But the reason I'm interested in Telcoin is because not only did it show us that it can move up exponentially and very quickly, it showed us that it can retrace very hard as well. So it retraced all the way back down here to around 86%, back to our support block here, just below 1 cent. And this is why I'm interested in Telcoin, because it showed us that it's blasted off and now it's entered. And we look on the weekly chart here, and we'll remove the Bollinger Bands real quick. We can see that it's retraced and it's entered a triangular formation where the next logical move is a breakout to the upside, right? So we're looking at that triangle formation, and the only problem with this triangle formation right now is there's not just one formation, right? There's a couple potential formations. We have, and we'll draw them out right now, we have one starting here on the 26th of May. We can draw it all the way down and retesting off of these support lines here, these tests here, right? So this is one of the lines we can draw, and then we can draw the other line of a triangle, something like this. And we can see under this scenario, which I think is the least likely scenario, we have already actually broken out of the triangle, right? We've broken out of the triangle yesterday, and we're coming back down currently, probably to test this for support and head to the upside, right? So that's one of the triangle formations. And the other one I want to look at, which I think is probably the better one to look at, it's probably more likely, is drawing it here from around July the 1st, drawing that and bringing that wick all the way down here. And you can see we have, instead of just one retest, we have 1, 2, 3 retests of the top of the triangle. And then we can draw this level, very similar to where we drew it before, in that same region. And we can see that this would extend a lot further. And the reason why I'm not too worried about this triangle extending and potentially us ranging within this triangle all the way until January, right? I don't think we're going to range for that long, but that's what the triangle suggests, right? Realistically, it is possible for us to do that. I'm not concerned because I'm not actually expecting altcoins to run very massively until that point. That's not to say we won't be seeing a breakout, but it is to say when we do see a breakout, we can take a measured move from the retest of the bottom end of this triangle to the first retest of the top end of this triangle, just roughly here, so be about that. Extrapolate that data, put it to the end of a triangle, and see when we do see a move to the upside, when we do see a breakout, and it probably won't be coming at this point, so we can actually go ahead and move it, if it happens right now, for example, we'll be going all the way to around 5.5 cents. But, obviously the later it happens, the lower that's going to end up taking us. But the point is, that is a massive move, right? And that's going to happen in a very short period of time, because what has happened historically with Telcoin when we see massive moves is big pumps in a short period of time. So I am looking at this triangle, and I am kind of thinking that it's going to be breaking out actually within October, right? So I'm going to draw a vertical line, and I'm thinking this triangle is going to break out within October, all right? Worst case scenario, what we can do here on Telcoin is come back down, retest the bottom of this triangle, and then break out to the upside. I think that's definitely a potential possibility. And, what we can see on Telcoin as well is some sort of inverse head and shoulders that suggests that right now might actually be the breakout, right? We've headed up. We had that inverse pattern and we've headed up to the upside. We have rejected off of that triangle briefly. We might be going back down to this support zone here at around 1.9 cents to gather liquidity before heading up to the upside. That's probably one of the most likely scenarios of Telcoin. The point is, it's bullish. The point is, no matter what we do, no matter if we break out of this triangle right now in October, if we break out of it in November, heck, if we break out of it in December, the point is the move is going to be bullish, and it's very unlikely that we're going to break bearish here unless we see a massive correction across the markets. Even in corrections across the markets, even in May and June and July, we still managed to hold this triangle for support. It is well tested. We can look at the VVPR, which is the volume profile, essentially gives us an idea of where historical price action and trading takes place. And we can see that we have an abundance. In fact, we have the most support. We have the point of control in this green box here, which means that if we do drop down to that green box again, which is a possibility to grab liquidity and head to the upside, we have an abundance of support. That means we're probably not going to be dropping below that region, right? We're probably not going to be dropping below that region. It'll be very unlikely for that to happen. But what we actually can see as well, opposing that, is that at 2.4 cents, where roughly we were just rejected from in the last daily candle, we have resistance, right? And we fought that resistance consistently. We fought it back here. We fought it here in July. We fought it here in August. And we fought it here in September. And obviously right now we're fighting it currently. So what I'm seeing on Telcoin is, in fact, if we close a daily candle not only over the triangle, but over 2.4 cents, that's what I'm looking to see, a breakout and an entry at a Telcoin. Because if we close over 2.4 cents, we would have conquered this VVPR, resistance block, and we will be very, very, very likely to head to the upside, right? If we bring up some SMAs as well, what we can see is that it's very unlikely, supporting this, theory I made before, it's very unlikely we'll drop below the top of this support block, because all of these SMAs are going to be moving to the upside and they'll give us good ranges for bouncing off, right? So I think that, a breakout is pretty much imminent for Telcoin within the next 2 weeks, right? Within the next 2 weeks, I think it could probably happen within this week, depending on what happens on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is showing us pretty clearly that there just simply isn't enough sellers, right? It's moved up massively. It's moved up, I think, almost 15K, 16K in the last, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and it hasn't corrected substantially because there simply just aren't any bears left, right? The bearish arguments are all dead, right? That doesn't mean we're not going to correct at some point. It just means that, Bitcoin's leading the way. Bitcoin's dragging the life out of altcoins, but eventually altcoin's going to catch up as Bitcoin gets too high, and I think Telcoin will be primed for a breakout when that happens. I think that, the ability of Telcoin to capture this much attention in the market, for a coin to pull hundreds of millions of dollars daily for, volume, that wasn't even in the top 100 at that time, is pretty, notable to say the least. And I think that Telcoin definitely has the capacity to do that again. There's a lot of people out there who are, charting this triangular pattern on Telcoin and saying that it's going to break the upside. I would tend to agree with them, right? I would tend to agree with them. We can look at the weekly chart and we can get an idea of the price prediction for the end of a cycle. And I want to talk about the weekly chart again. I want to say that if we do see a breakout to the upside of this triangle, which I think is likely, we do have a bullish weekly MACD cross coming in as well, which would, potentially trigger if as soon as we break out to the upside, as soon as we close the candle above that triangle, we will be seeing that cross potentially, right, within 1 or 2 weeks. That's paramount, right? The impact a weekly candle, a weekly MACD cross has on a USD chart is exponential, right? So that would certainly drive this rally up to high price targets, potentially even to our all-time high on Telcoin within about a month of the breakout, right? In my opinion, within about a month of the breakout, I reckon it'd be very, very quick. We have reason to believe that it will be quick because it's moved quick before. Look at this one weekly candle we had here back in May. One weekly candle, right? We went from 1.2 cents all the way to around 5.5 cents in one weekly candle. So there's no reason to believe that it can't do that again. And on a greater scale as well, because there's more people in the market now, and there's more people interested in altcoins as well. Or at least there will be when Telcoin makes this breakout, right? Because that would be, suggesting that Bitcoin dominance would have dropped a little bit and altcoins will have taken preference in the market. But as for the end of cycle and where Telcoin will be going in the end of a cycle, I'm looking at 15 cents, right? I'm looking at 15 cents, and that's a rough estimate. Obviously, of course, but the reason I'm making a rough estimate is because we simply just don't have enough price data. We don't have any clear fractals here on Telcoin. So what I'm actually doing is I'm extrapolating the data. When Telcoin reached 6.5 cents here in May, Bitcoin reached its all-time high of 64K. Assuming Bitcoin reaches my target, this is my personal target, of 113K, that's almost a 2x, adding 50% gains to Telcoin to compensate for altcoins outperforming Bitcoin by around 50%. Telcoin will be reaching its all-time high of around 15 cents, and I'm expecting that to happen within January, possibly early February, right? That's what usually happens in bull markets. It's usually January, but if we're taking into account lengthening cycles, which happens by about 2 weeks every cycle from my calculations, it might be in early February. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely in January or February, Telcoin will be topping out, and I think it's going to be around, not perfectly, obviously, because it's a very rough price prediction because we don't have a lot of data, as I've said, but I think it's going to be around that 15 cent region. I guess you could probably say, anywhere from, 18 cents to, let's see, like 18 cents to 12 cents, right? 18 cents to 12 cents, but I'm thinking 15 cents. Right? I'm thinking 15 cents. I'd probably start taking profits here at around 12 cents just to be on the conservative side, because it's better to walk away with profits than hold your bags through a 3-year bear market and cop a 99% loss. If you look at the Bitcoin pair, we can see that we've had, a significant drop down from our all-time highs at around 11,000 sats, and we've dropped down steadily over the course of the last 5 months, down to this 3,000 sat support where we've had some bounces in the past. This is a major support block, right, for the Bitcoin pair, and we've kept bouncing off this consistently. I think that we're probably going to drop below this, right? It's not certain if Telcoin catches a bounce within this month, which I kind of am expecting. We probably could stay above it, but I don't think it'd be bearish at all for us to go below to the 2,000 sat region before bouncing up. Maybe if it's even just one candle wick down to this region and then bouncing up, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin needs to lead the market. We have Bitcoin ETF news coming out as well in the next couple of weeks. If that happens, Bitcoin's going to steal the spotlight for at least a couple of weeks, and altcoins are kind of going to lag behind Bitcoin, and so naturally the Bitcoin pairs are going to drop in value for a very short period of time. But ultimately, I will be expecting this to make new all-time highs by the end of Q1. 100% new all-time highs by the end of Q1. Even if Telcoin doesn't go to 15 cents, I still think that's going to happen, right? But I think it very much will go to 15 cents. I don't think we'll have a problem getting that price target. And even on the conservative side, and that's a rough price target, obviously, on the conservative side, if you're very conservative, you could even look at 10 cents in Telcoin, right? Because 10 cents is a psychological resistance zone. A smart move to make would be wait for this breakout, when it gets to that 10-cent region, sell just before the 10-cent region, wait for it to flip that region for support, and then buy back in when you have confirmation that that psychological resistance is going to be taken, and then you can proceed to the upside. But, 10 cents, 15 cents, anywhere in that region, that's what I'm looking at for Telcoin. And that's still considerable gains, right? Even to 10 cents, which is not actually my price prediction, it's just a notable resistance, right? That's still 350%, to 15 cents, which is my price prediction, 569%. Massive gains. Anyone who says Telcoin can go to $1, I think you're lying. I think you're just feeding into the bullish momentum. I think you're just looking for followers and views. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just my personal opinion. No disrespect to anyone who thinks that's going to happen. It very well could. But it's just simply a wild extrapolation of data, because we simply just don't have any data to make assumptions it's going to go that high. That's just pure speculation. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something about Telcoin in the current state of the market, and I'll catch you in the next one.